Welcome into Talking Bengals. This is a very exciting edition. The Bengals are officially winning ball games. It is exciting. We got a full house here tonight and an awesome guest host on. So, the Bengals did beat the Browns. If you didn't watch the game, I'm not sure what else you were doing with your Sunday, because if you've watched all the losing that's happened this year, you missed out on a fun game. But like I said, we have a very special guest tonight. But before we jump into him, we got Nick, we got Josh, we got Burnsy. We got them all here. It's a full crew. And like I said, and Tim Daniels is going to be an awesome guest for us on here. He does everything Riverfront. If you're not subscribing, liking, and listening to everything the Riverfront puts out there, you get your viewer mail in there, or listener mail, as Chad Dotson used to always put it. What are you doing? The Riverfront's a great place to go. But Tim, tell us a little bit about your other projects. I know you got some cab stuff going on as well.
Hey, what's up, guys? Thanks for having me. This is fun. I currently, while Chad is figuring out what his next steps are, I'm kind of running the director of content for the Riverfront. So Riverfront Red Show, Late Night Reds, and Welcome to the Jungle, our Bengals podcast. I'm participating in right now as we're kind of trying to fill those spots. Head of content for Riverfront U, where we do all of our college sports coverage for all our local Division I schools, UC, Xavier, Northern Kentucky, Miami, Ohio, so on and so forth. And then, I cover the Cleveland Cavaliers on a show called The Block, The Shot, The Stop, in homage to the 2016 title, where after every single Cavs game, we do a podcast just recapping the game of the 25-4 Cleveland Cavaliers. They're a lot of fun to watch. If you're not watching NBA basketball, that's the team to watch. And then, of course, I do travel agent work for Disney Universal at Pixie Travel. But if you ever are looking to do a vacation with your family, holla at your boy. I'll take good care of you.
I like it. I thought I was a busy guy. Goodness gracious, Tim. You got a lot of stuff going on.
Did I mention I'm a husband and I have a kid?
That might be the most important part, Tim.
Right. Yeah.
You fit in well with this show. That's everybody here, so we feel you on that one.
Yeah.
But thank you for joining us tonight. And we're going to jump into our favorite segment, the one we've been leading off with all season. It's our Cheers and Jeers. We want to figure out who you think was the best player of the game, who do you think was the worst player of the game. Could be a player, coach, could be the fans, whoever you want to give a jeer or cheer to. Go for it, Tim.
Myself, because I bet Joe Burrow over at 3 passing touchdowns today. So that final free play, thanks to Myles Garrett, got me some cash. So.
Oh, that was awesome. I like that. Is a first on Talking Bengals. We have our cheered for ourselves. It's fantastic. Who are you going to give a jeer to?
Probably Zach Taylor for his incompetence with red zone coaching and goal to go, not knowing what to do there. So that Joe Burrow play action where he fumbled when he was literally by himself for 7 yards, not ideal.
No, definitely not. Zach, you're laughing about us. Let's see what you got.
Well, it's funny enough, you know how I work with technology. My notes froze up on me. So off the whim, I'm going to go Chase Brown, because the man is still unstoppable, had 109 total all-purpose yards today. So that's my cheer. My jeer, I don't know. There wasn't a lot to be upset about except for maybe the offensive line, because I feel like Joe continues still to stay on the ground. So.
Yeah, I mean, Alex Kappa is a revolving door. He has become Bobby Hart. I didn't think that was possible, but it really happened. It's the truth. At this point, Nick, who are your cheers and jeers going to?
Well, I'll just start off with my cheer. I mean, Joe Burrow being absolutely phenomenally athletic and gifted, except for that fumble. But, I mean, when you're getting attacked by 4 guys who are 300 pounds plus, I mean, it's kind of hard to hold on to the ball. Joe Burrow making absolutely spectacular plays somehow, even when he's getting mauled. That's just phenomenal. Air Burrow, freaking awesome.
Nick's already plugging on this merch. Air Burrow shirts are available at Seasoned Enterprises on Etsy.
And obviously that's going to lead into my jeer. Offensive line and whole, Frank Pollock needs to go. He needs to go now.
A lot of Frank Pollock hate on this show. That is a continuing theme, and it's a bad interior line right now. So I'm not going to say it's all Frank's fault, but consistently the one thing in all of these different offensive lines has been Frank Pollock. So that has to concern you a little bit. Josh, what do you want to go with this week?
Mike Hilton. Is there anybody in the NFL that has better timing from the corner position at getting to the quarterback? It's incredible. He had 2 this week. It seems like every single week he has 1 at least, where he just free runs straight at the quarterback. Nobody can touch him, and he gets a sack. I mean, he's the best at it. You kind of stole mine. I did want to go Frank Pollock as my Jeer. That is 100%. If Mims is shouting at him on the sidelines, there's a problem. And everybody knows the problem starts there. But I'm not going to go that route. How about we go with just one particular offensive lineman? It's going to be Kappa. He's trash. He's so bad. He's been bad all season. This might be the worst offensive line Joe Burrow's played with. And that's saying something. It really is. I mean, every single time, if he wasn't so good in the pocket, he'd get sacked 7 times a game. It would be the Titans playoff game every single week if he didn't know how to manipulate the pocket. It's horrible.
Worst offensive line, I don't think I can go quite go there, but I get where you're coming from. 2020, he literally got murdered. His knees had to get repaired, and that was probably the worst line. And 21 wasn't much better. If you would just replace Alex Kappa and Cordell Bolson with competent guards, you'd have been. Whereas opposed to in 20 and 21, you'd have to replace the entire line, basically, to have fun. So I'm not trying to pick on you, Josh. You make a good point. It's one of his worst lines. Definitely Kappa's probably one of the worst players that's ever played in line for him this year. He wasn't terrible before, but this year he forgot how to play offense. But I'll get into my cheers and jeers before I start rambling on my soapbox. So my cheer, I've mentioned it before this season in this segment, Andre Yoshivas. Well, Chase is an obvious one. Higgins is an obvious one. We have a number 3 receiver. He does what he needs to do. He's making those catches when Burrow comes to him. It may only be 3 to 4 times a game, but he's not dropping the ball. He's making those plays. Big touchdown catch, big deep ball down the field. Yoshi, keep doing what you're doing. You're the number 3 guy as of right now. You've earned it. Keep running with it. As far as my jeer is going to go, man, you guys took the offensive line. That was going to be the obvious one for this game. I'm going to give my jeer to Myles Murphy because I still barely saw him do anything. The only time I saw him touch the quarterback was when DTR was already down. He's already laying there. He kind of falls on top of him. How are you losing snaps to Joseph Osai? I don't understand it. Osai is below average in every PFF rating this year. How you're losing out snaps to him, who knows? But Myles Murphy, please act like you're at least a day 2 pick. You were a day 1 pick. Could you be a day 2 pick at least? Play as good as McKinley Jackson. I'd take that. But to not ramble on too much, it'll bring us to the naughty list. Do-do-do.
Don't need money, don't take fame, don't need no credit card to ride this train. It's strong and it's sudden and it's cruel sometimes, but it might just save your life. That's the power of love. That's the power of love.
With it being Christmas time, we are going to tell you which Bengals players are on our naughty list. And by that we mean we want them to be cut, and we're going to look at what that would be like if we cut them from the team next year. Zach, I'm going to throw you in the fire first. Go ahead.
All right, so my 3 are going to be Kappa, CTP, and Drew Sample. So Kappa, obviously his offensive line has not played out very well. Next year he'll be a $10.25 million cap hit, and he's going to be 30. I don't know too many guards that are playing in their 30s. So might be a good piece to go after in the draft instead. Go get somebody younger in the first round. I know we keep talking about going to get defense in the draft because Lord knows they need defense as well, which leads me to the next one, which was CTB. I think he's been replaced. I know DJ Turner and Dax Hill have been hurt, but they were playing good down the stretch before their injuries. I think he's kind of continuously making inconsistent plays down the stretch. And then Drew Sample, if McLaughlin comes back next year healthy, because I know he's been out, we drafted him this year. If he comes out healthy, and Eric All plays like Eric All before he got injured, I think the tight end room gets a little bit more tighter, and I think Drew is the one on the outside there.
All right, well, it's not bad. Tim, who do you want to cut for your naughty list?
Oof. First things first, I'm definitely going to go with our old pal Cordell Volson. I just think we're at the point. It's not a whole lot of money. It's 1.1 mil. No one's going to be really upset about losing that, but I think we're just at the point where he's just not that dude. He's just not going to be that guy. You're not going to move forward with him. You mentioned it. Interior offensive line is where they're struggling the most right now. Obviously, I understand he does not have Orlando Brown next to him a lot this year. I remember when Orlando Brown played football. That was really cool. That's really realistically my only one I have that you guys will have anything different as far as because Von Bell's on a 1-year deal, Cody Ford's on a 1-year deal, so
yeah. And then there's so much to choose from. I was expecting us to have a lot of similarities, but I like that you went off the cuffs here a little bit and picked something outside the box. Josh, who did you have? Josh, you are on mute, or we cannot hear you, my friend.
Oh, hello. Hey.
Oh, there he is. Yeah.
Nice professionalism, huh? So I think this is where we're going to start to get some overlap. Sheldon Rankins, Alex Kappa, Jermaine Pratt. So looking at just the performance. Jermaine Pratt, every single big play that happens, seems like he is the first person there and cannot get the tackle. Every single time. Kappa, as we've already talked about, he can't block anybody. Sheldon Rankins, has he gotten 2 tackles this season? I don't know.
has he played 2 snaps this season?
Yeah.
Half of it, maybe.
He has 2 tackles, maybe. Probably
No.
2 garbage time tackles.
But, going into next season, that's going to be, let's see, cap savings for cutting Sheldon Rankins, $9.5 million. Kappa, $8 million. Jermaine Pratt, $5.6 million. That's going to save a ton of money getting rid of those 3 people that you're not getting anything out of. They're not helping you win. They're not helping you get to where you want to go.
No, agreed. And before I throw it to Nick, I'm going to jump in because Josh stole most of mine. So I got to say the one that Josh didn't steal before Nick steals it, and that's Sam Hubbard. We all love Sam Hubbard. I'm not gonna say we don't. He's a great local guy. He does a lot of awesome things in the community. He has had some wonderful moments. The fumble in the jungle, the Hubbard yard dash, whatever you want to call it. He did some awesome things for the city, but he is not it. He is not a realistic defensive end threat moving forward, and he's played above his draft grade. He was never supposed to be a starter. He was supposed to be a rotational piece. He's had a good career, but you can't run him back out there next year as your answer. It can't be Hubbard and Osai and Murphy as your 3 guys trying to rotate. It doesn't make sense. You're not going to be successful. I'd love to see a restructure, but that's not what this exercise is. A restructure where he's almost taking league minimum, which is kind of insulting. But, that's what he's worth at this point. He's like almost a league minimum deal. But I would cut him. That is going to be a savings of $9.6 million. What can you flip that $9.6 million into? A good player, a decent defensive end, a good D tackle, something else that could really help this team where Sam Hubbard's not going to help. It's just not a reality. And Nick, now that we've literally mentioned most of the roster, who are you going to cut?
Yeah, thanks for stealing my main one, Casey. I was going to be the bad guy. And I agree with the Sam Hubbard pick. He's lost all the mustard that he has. He doesn't have it anymore, and that's going to save, like you said, about just under $10 million in cap space. CTB drastically underperformed. I'm just continuously just not impressed with the performance. Every once in a while, he'll make a good play. What does he have? 3 interceptions all year and like 6 batted balls. And then you run into Pratt. Pratt seems to be missing several open field tackling opportunities that really make or break. And, playing against the Titans, he had some really big tackles. But then this week, right? Nothing. You know, where was the big tackles that Pratt made? The 66-yard dash that Ford had the first play of the game because Pratt couldn't make an open field tackle. So I'll give him his due when he does well, but I'm not going to say that he played well today at all. So, I mean, I think there's 3 players that you can drop.
Yeah, so Tim, you'll like this comparison probably. Jermaine Pratt has become the Mike Moustakas of the Bengals. He is just lazy and misses routine things. Could be a better player, has some potential, but just doesn't really try.
A lot of power, he just doesn't bring it.
Yeah. It's sad.
That is a good one. I like it.
Tim will allow it. We'll go with that.
News. Thanks for that, PTSD.
You're welcome. I'm here for you. It's almost baseball season. I'm here for you. But I want to talk about CTB. It's off script subject here. Do we all have such high expectations of CTB because the media was telling us that he was supposed to be an All-Pro, he's supposed to be a Pro Bowler, he's supposed to be really making a turn? When last season he had some great games, but did he ever really show the consistency even last season to make you think that all of these expectations were valid?
Well, I
think we overthought it. Go ahead, Josh.
Well, before he got hurt, he actually did play very well. And I think, honestly, it comes down to nobody on this defense is ever in position. And if the entire defense is out of position, who do you look at? Who is supposed to put them in position? Their coach. Schemes and tells them where they're supposed to be in practice. Nobody knows where they're supposed to be come game time. It's like everybody just looks at Madden plays and says, yep, no, I can do this. It's fine. I got this. But they don't actually do anything. That's why nobody can tackle. Most missed tackles in the entire league, I think, are second to most. It's just soft.
Zach, what do you think about CTV?
I definitely think he's not living up to expectations. He makes plays once every about what we're looking at 27. So, but on defense is like Coach Eatery used to tell us, you could play great defense 66 plays, and on the 67th play, you go get burnt. It's the opposite for CTP this year. He's playing one good play, and then he has about a 66 in between before he makes another good play. So
that's accurate. Nick or Tim, any other comments you want to put in on CTV?
I'm just curious what it looks like if he has consistent safeties behind him, how much that really improves him. So,
I mean, Tim, that's a good point. That is a very good point. If he has 2 consistent safeties behind him to help him with the deep ball threat, I mean, that allows CTB to play that one-on-one man coverage up close like he likes to play.
I'm hoping he's better next year, but hope is not a strategy. Another Redsism we have to live with, but hopefully
shut up,
he
my
can
mom.
play better next year.
Guess what? You just proved that advertising on podcasts works. Reach thousands of local listeners each week and grow your business. Reach out to Talkin Bengals today to find out more by emailing talkinbengals@gmail.com.
And we're going to, one that we didn't mention in the pre-show, but we did have in the original script, let's just go through the playoff look, because right now it is not honestly looking very good. It could look worse, but it's not looking great. So to recap today, the Titans couldn't give the Bengals any help, even though they made it decided late. The 49ers are not a football team this year. I don't know why they're not, but they're just not a football team. So looking at the Bengals' chances, they have to win out. Broncos have to lose out. The Bengals can beat the Broncos. If they're going to make it, they have to beat the Broncos. So that's good news. But then the Chiefs probably won't have anything to play for in the last week of the season, so that's not good. And also, the Dolphins have to beat the Browns and the Jets. That's not a very hard schedule. And then it gets even worse when you look at who the Colts have to beat. The Colts have to beat the Sisters of the Blind, the New York Giants, and the other worst team in the league, the Jacksonville Jaguars. So is there a chance? Yeah, absolutely. There's a chance the Bengals make the playoffs. Are we all hoping for a miracle? Absolutely. But realistically, does anyone see this working out in the Bengals' favor, or are we just fanboys?
Let's just hope that one of these teams can gift the Bengals what they gave the Bills like 10 years ago. Let's just hope somebody can do that, because these teams, aside from the Broncos, are playing some of the worst teams in the NFL. Let's just hope that somebody pulls a miracle out, plays the best game of their life, and beats them. Otherwise, it was fun.
Yeah,
So
I
what
mean,
you're saying?
Go ahead, Zach.
Whoa.
Zach gets to go. Zach
All
is the winner. Go ahead.
I was gonna say. So what you're saying is we need to do the Bills Mafia thing and then donate to every quarterback's foundation that helps us get into the playoffs.
Yes.
Got it.
Yes. Do it.
Unless it's Russell Wilson, so I'm not giving him anything.
Which one?
So unless it's Russell Wilson, he's not getting anything from me.
No, not at all.
Instead of Russell Wilson's charity, we'll just give Sean Alexander's charity that's still in Seattle. So
There we go.
we'll make it work somehow and help somebody who's a rib somehow connected to Russell Wilson at some point.
so
Give
I
a
mean,
shout out to one of our big brother in there.
let's just say this: the Chiefs, if they win next week, yes, they'll probably play backups. But if the Steelers win next week, they're probably going to play their backups as well. Why would you risk hurting Russell Wilson, who's been on a tear? Why would you risk putting Pickens in? Why would you risk all that?
We're not going to say we're cheering for that evil team from Pittsburgh, but if they win, we would not be disappointed next week. We'll say it that way.
Because
Not
at
be disappointed at least.
that point, the Chiefs will be playing for number one seed. They're going to play their starters. That could mean the Broncos will probably lose out.
Especially with the way the refs like to call it for the Chiefs.
Yep. We're just going to say the team in the city that shall not be named. We're hoping that they don't lose next weekend. They're on Christmas. We're hoping they don't lose on Christmas. Maybe a little Christmas fun that we're not going to be disappointed for one time in that team winning. Just saying. I can't bring myself to say them to win. I literally can't do it. It's hurting my soul to say this. But, looking at the other portions of this scenario, it's going to be a lot of squinting. I'm hopeful. But realistically, I would not put any money on this. The Bengals to make the playoffs. Should not. Seems like money lost. Tim, you got any insights you want to share with the playoff picture here?
I mean, nothing you guys haven't already said. It's obviously extremely unlikely, but hey, I mean, anything can happen. SMU made the playoffs.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, so my question back to you then, Tim, since we took all the other air on this topic. Would you be more afraid of the Bengals, Colts, or Dolphins if they make it out?
Oh, it's the Bengals, right? I mean, do you think the Chiefs or the Ravens would have played the Bengals with how close those games were and how, realistically lucky they got to win those games against the Bengals? I don't think so. So I think the Bengals are a team you definitely don't want to see in the playoffs.
Literally, all you got to do is just look at the shirt. It's true.
Love the swag there. I like it.
Well done.
So we do have some winners this week. It is the season of giving, and the Talking Bengals show here will be giving out some free merch to several different people this week. Chase Brown, as Zach mentioned earlier, 109 all-purpose yards. We actually had winners on Instagram and Facebook this week. On Instagram, it was the First and 30 podcast, Nick and Antonio. Great guest there, 110, be the overall closest. Awesome job. You guys are getting shirts. And because it was two very close, almost people in the Facebook winners, and it's a couple, which makes it even better. It's Tori Newsom and Jason Newsom. And Tori is the winner with her guess of 107. And Jason gets it, almost got it, 113. And his wife now has bragging rights in the house. We'll get you guys your shirts as well. We'll come up with something to give you, like a silver medal or something coming to you, Jason, because, Tori's going to have bragging rights, at least until the next time one of you wins one of the Talking Bengals Challenge editions. But thank you guys for all the participation this week, all the love and support that we've been giving. We owe an apology. I'm going to make Zach give the apology here. So, Zach, give the apology to our other winner.
So, shout out to our friends up north in Canada, Connor Turner. I missed it. Scrolling through, he actually guessed 25 for Joe Burrow completions last week. and we had 26. So shout out to him. Josh, I know you said 26, but you're on the show, man. Like you
I can't
can't
get free stuff.
win.
I'm still going to buy it.
There's no nepotism. We can't give you free things here. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
But don't worry, Connor. Zach has been reprimanded. It'll be in his permanent file forever. Naughty Zach.
Rough. Yeah.
But moving into more fun topics, and like I said, I'm going to give this one to Tim first. Tim, Broncos preview. What do you think about the game coming up on Saturday?
I mean, it's we talk about we want the Bengals to be in the playoffs. This is the playoffs, right? You got to win now. You got to win every way you possibly can. So it's gonna be really cool. Really excited to have this game at Paul Brown. I still call it Paul Brown. All right, we're still calling it.
Yes, it's better as Paul Brown.
It's a stadium formerly known as Paul Brown.
Yeah. So obviously, I work for a place called the Riverfront. So old stadiums will always be near and dear to my heart. But Saturday 4:30 game. It's gonna be a lot of fun there. Looks like 53 degrees, so might be able to air it out a little bit more. So that'd be fun. I've really enjoyed Bo Nix this year. I think he's been a lot of fun to watch. So, but the Broncos, for some reason, one of those teams I just always loathed. I've just never been a Broncos guy. So they do have my guy Audric Estime over there. So I hope he has, a 2-yard touchdown run. The Bengals win by 25. So
it's a good one there. So, Josh, anything you want to preview specifically going into this Broncos game?
I mean, specifically, it's just going to come down to Joe Burrow has to will this team to another victory. I mean, the only reason they're this close is because he just refuses to give up. And that drive that he has, that determination to just keep pushing and keep fighting is what makes him probably one of the most prolific passers in the NFL. I mean, he's got more yards than anybody because he just refuses to go down. He breaks tackles more than any running back you can think of. It's incredible watching him. And he just has to keep that going 2 more weeks, keep fighting, put in your hands what you can do. That's all you can do, Joe. Keep fighting, win.
I mean, the one thing I'd like to put out there for Joe Burrow, because he's an avid listener of this show, he hears everything we talk about.
of course.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. If you run 15 yards backwards, just fall. Don't fumble. Just at that point, just throw the ball out of bounds if you can. But if you can't, just hold it with 2 hands because he is Superman. But his kryptonite at times is thinking he can be Superman. I mean, that fumble today didn't end up costing us because the Browns are dumpster fire. I don't know a nicer way to say it. I mean, even though their beat writers are basically coming out and saying that they're a dumpster fire. So I don't think it's insulting if we say it on here. But, yeah, we don't want him to have to be the Superman and then cause an issue by doing that. But I think the real key here is hit Bo Nix. Our pass rush is horrible most of the season. Don't let him get comfortable. From the very beginning, somebody's got to hit him. I don't care what you have to do. Hit him early, hit him often, because if he gets going and starts picking you apart, it's going to be an ugly game. Because I don't think our defense can actually cover anybody if the quarterback is comfortable. We didn't even play a real quarterback today, and he still led a couple drives. So, makes you nervous. Nick, what are your thoughts?
I'm going to say the key to winning this game is not playing a soft zone coverage against a rookie quarterback. Every time we've done that this year, they have torn us up.
Good.
Keeping it simple, just like we did the past couple of weeks. Mike Hilton said it in his post-game interview. Just keeping it simple, staying the course. Doing those simple corner blitzes for Mike, those are phenomenal. Obviously, he's the best probably that's ever done it. I mean, Mike Hilton is just amazing coming off the corner like that. So that's going to be a key is getting him in to disrupt the game. Hopefully, Trey Hendrickson gets a few sacks. And if we can have one of our inside defensive line guys actually do some form of making a difference, we'll be fine.
I like it. Burnsy?
So key takeaways, and I don't know if these are updated stats or numbers for the Bengals. I know that Denver's been updated, but from Pro Football Reference, the Denver's defense is first in points allowed per game, 17.6. We are 31st at 27.6 in points allowed per game, but they've only scored 24 on their average. We're 28. So it's going to be an interesting battle. Their rush defense is really good, but our rush offense is 30th right now with 91 yards a game. So that's obviously not going to be our key to our victory on this one. To make that run, the key is going to be, like you said, go get Bo Nix, and throw the ball and take care of the football.
Take your career to new heights with Constructive Curiosity. Whether it's career coaching, mental performance training, or business management consulting, Constructive Curiosity has the insight to get it right. Visit constructivecuriosity.com to get started today.
With us talking about those keys to how to beat the Broncos, that's going to bring us into, we talked about the naughty list. Let's get to our nice list. The one player we feel like deserves a spot on next year's team. We're not talking about Joe. We're not talking about Jamar. We're not talking about Trey Hendrickson. Who's a guy who's on the bubble or on the fence, and you're going to make a case for why they should be on the team next year and they're on your nice list? Tim, who you got?
Mike Gesicki, man. Keep him in town. He's been so fun. He's really helped the passing game a ton. You can line him up as a tight end. You can line him up in the slot. You can line him up on the outside as an X. He's been really – I mean, he's had some games where he hasn't been great, but he's had a lot of games where, the offense doesn't move without him. So I'm a big fan. This revolving tight end door, I think, is kind of – you saw with the Uzamas, the Hayden Hurst, and the Irv Smiths where you can have really mixed results. He's been consistent. And, like Zach said earlier, when Eric calls back as well, you can kind of go that 2 tight end. You can go that 12-man offense that Joe likes to run it from his LSU days with those two, having Chase Brown in the backfield. So yeah, keep Mike in town. I'm a big fan of his. So.
Well, Zach, you look disappointed. Tim must have stolen yours, so I'm not giving you any time to think. Zach, go ahead.
You can tell that Tim and I have been friends for almost 30 years because we think the exact same way. So my next ones, and they're maybe not on the fence for players, but it's both Dax Hill and DJ Turner. I think they were playing phenomenal at the corner positions, and I think they were playing CTB out of a job up until each of their injuries, respectfully. So if you had a rookie deal between the 3 of them that you were trying to deal, I give it to the 2 of them and let CTB go.
I like it. Nick, who you got?
I'm going to fight for Joseph Asai. He has stepped up. He has won a position over Miles Murphy. He's not taken much on the cap hit. He took a $5.2 million deal back at 21. He's on his last year coming up next year. Why not extend him for another $1.5 million to 2 years or $1.5 million to $2 million for another 2 years? See what else we can get out of him. Heck, it might be the best bargain of the century.
He's definitely going to be cheap. He's not had a good enough resume to be expensive.
He's had 3 sacks, 32 total tackles, and he's one of the only Bengals to ever block a kick that I can remember.
Shout out Dede Dorsey.
Exactly my point, Tim. Exactly my point, Tim. It's been that long.
I was at that game, actually.
All right, Josh, who you got?
There's some people that will not remember that name.
I'm going to go with Njong Meta. This is going to go hand in hand with cutting Pratt. Get rid of Pratt. Njong Meta, give him his spot. The rookie's hungry. He's just as big. And if he didn't get that scoop and score stolen, was that last week? That would have been his crowning moment as a rookie. Keep him going. Plus, come on. The dude showed up fully decked out as the Grinch today. Can't beat it. That's the best outfit of the whole season. It beats anything Joe's worn.
I like it. That is a guy who's festive and knows the season and probably realizes I'm a rookie and I need to do everything I can to be comedic relief for this team. I'm going to go with one that's going to be controversial probably. and you guys may or may not agree, and if you don't, heckle me all you want to. Jordan Battle. He has been rated as above average by PFF. He's not been a flash player, but he's been consistent. I am so embarrassed to say it after his knee fumble last week, but he's earned the starting spot. I don't think you need to replace him. I think Geno Stone needs to be replaced. I think Von Bell needs to retire and go into coaching or whatever else he wants to do. But Jordan Battle can be one of your safeties. Is he ever going to be Jesse Bates? Absolutely not. But he can be a serviceable, average or safety in this league. So let's just go ahead and give him that, keep him in that starting role that he's been doing the last 6 weeks, and just let him run with it. He's never going to be great, but he did have one of my favorite plays last season against Jacksonville when he literally covered the guy's eyes on the deep. If I'd have known that was legal, my football career would have been a lot better.
That was awesome. One of the best plays of the entire year last year. One of the best plays the entire year last year was that.
So, yeah. I always have a soft spot in my heart for him because he did that. That was awesome. Just awesome to do. But, yeah, I want to see what he can do. Hopefully he gets better next year. Hopefully he gets better than average. But average is not a liability. We have so many below average people that you got to keep the average guys and try to build around them. So that's going to bring us into our prediction time, and Nick is ready to take down the predictions so we know who won and who loses, and none of us are really doing really great this year. I don't think anybody's even come within 2 points of winning.
No, we're not good. That's why we don't do that for a living.
So I will put out our disclaimer like I do every week. Please do not place any money on anything that we ever say. We don't know what we're talking about when it comes to scores, and we do not have the spreadsheets to analyze everything down to nitty-gritty. We're just going straight off the field here.
There's a reason why we have no more money in FanDuel.
But if you are, please use Trade Machine. We're not endorsed by anybody. If you want to pay us, we will endorse your betting platform. I'll say that right now. If you want to kick us some dollars, we'll say you're our favorite, even though I do not bet. Anyways, Tim's the guest. We're going to let him go first with his prediction. Go ahead, Tim.
All right. I'm going to go a Bengals victory 27-21. I'm going Joe Burrow 280 with 3 tutties.
I like it. Josh, what do you got?
I'm going to go 37-25 Bengals. I'm not going to get into anything else.
I don't know how they're getting to 25, but hey, it could be interesting. Could be interesting. Nick, I'll let you go ahead since you're typing. You can do yourself next.
Why don't you just let me go last?
Fine. I'll let you go last. Drama. Anyways, Zach, go ahead.
I've got the spread at 3 and over under is 48.5. So I'm going 27-24 Bengals. I like that 3 touchdowns for Joe Burrow too.
And just because I'm going to Price is Right Zach here, I'm going 26-23 Bengals. How are they getting to 26? I don't know. But I'm just going to I want to beat Zach by 1 on both of them. So it's Price is Right rules. That's how we're doing it. So, Nick, now it is up to you if you're okay with it. Are you sure you're all right? Do you have time for it now?
Yes, Casey, you hurt my feelings, and I really feel like, you're really not being inclusive right now. But 34-31 Bengals. I think it's going to be a little bit higher scoring game than what you guys are imagining. But it's definitely going to be close.
Hopefully it's close. Hopefully, or the Bengals run away with it, it'd be even better. But I just don't want it to be an embarrassing way to finish the season. That's probably my biggest thing. It's never good to have the Bengals lose. It's never good to have them miss out on the playoffs. But having sat through the 90s and early 2000s prior to the Chad Johnson years, I just don't want to see ugly and embarrassing. Let's not go there. Let's go out swinging. Let's go out fighting. Let's do the best they can do. And hopefully it's a Bengals win. That's what we're all looking forward to here. So, Tim, we'll bring it to you here in a minute for your whole plug of everything you got, but we'll get Nick and Josh's closing thoughts out of the way. Go ahead, Nick.
Closing thoughts. I think that it is a very, very positive thing that we are legitimately still hoping and rooting for the Bengals to play in the playoffs. Makes this year a little bit more exciting, and definitely a lot more fun than what I thought it was going to be about 4 weeks ago. So,
Josh?
My closing thought comes down to what I was telling my wife earlier today watching the game. If the Bengals do not make the playoffs, I put this squarely on the shoulders of Zach Taylor. His questionable coaching decisions early in the season have lost them a couple games. 2 games, they'd be firmly in the playoffs. It'd be a lock. I mean, now we're scratching and clawing to try to make our way in. And, I mean, crazier things have happened. Hopefully they can do it, and let's just pray to God that they can. But I'm not as optimistic right now.
Yeah, I feel you on that. And Tim, we're turning it over to you. Give your final thoughts and plug everything you want to.
Man, well, thanks for having me, guys. This was fun. My final thought is, Nick, could you just explain what happened last night in Columbus?
Well, Tennessee crapped the bed and completely forgot how to tackle and play defense. And then Nico Iamaleava decided that he didn't feel like throwing the ball to any of his subpar receivers was something he was able to do. So he tried to take everything on his shoulders and run the ball.
Yeah, they'll be fine. They're gonna be really good for a while. I wouldn't be too upset about it. But I really do think Tennessee's gonna be awesome for a few years now. I think they're gonna be in this. They're gonna be in this quite a bit for a few years. But so I just want to make sure I got that out there. But yeah, thanks for having me, guys. This was a lot of fun. Like Casey said earlier. So check me out at the Riverfront. I'm doing like all their shows right now. We're on our holiday break. But if you want to check out our last show, we had a really cool show with Jake Baker, who owns Liquid Sports Cards in Cincinnati. We talked a lot about just baseball cards and the big boom again and how fun they are to kind of go through and just having those memories of collecting as a kid and what they've turned into. It's a great episode that I really was proud to be on. And then, after every Cavs game, I'm on the Block the Shot to Stop. We're live after every game, so you can come hang out with us in the Pottsville the next morning. They got the Utah Jazz tomorrow. It's going to be a barn burner. Not really. But if you want to check that out, we'll be on there talking about hopefully another Cavs victory. And so if you're looking to do a Disney or Universal vacation, check me out at Pixie Travel, where I'm all about it. I just got another great family, a nice cruise trip booked where I saved them some good amount of money. So I do free quotes. So if you're looking to do something, just let me know.
Tim, I will be hitting you up personally.
Perfect.
And Casey is muted on his end or something. Nobody understands what he's saying. No. This is not a Verizon commercial, by the way. But Tim, legit, I will be hitting you up. We're looking at Disney.
Okay, cool, man. Yeah, I got you.
So, and you can also check out the ad we have for Tim. We're going to be posting to our Facebook page and all of our other social medias, what Zach is about to plug. So, Zach, closing thoughts and plug those socials.
Well, I would be remiss if I didn't thank one of my very best friends in the entire world, Tim. Thanks for coming on, man. Appreciate you. Very proud of you. Proud of the empire that you've built, if you will, around you.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah. Yay. Look, man, you're doing a lot, and I'm proud of you. So good on you. Nick, my final thought for you is what happened to the flag planting? I know Tim hit on it a little bit, but I thought you guys were going to plant the flag.
Where was Bam at? Where was Bam at?
I don't know.
They were watching on their couch.
You can go sit on that couch.
SEC teams.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whatever. Anyway.
Okay.
Wish everybody else that is out there a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah, Happy whatever you may celebrate. Just enjoy the time and New Year with your friends and family, those around you, those that you can go travel and see. Unless you're in my circumstance where we're going to be here in Alabama. For those socials, we are at Talkin_Bengals on TikTok, X, Threads, Instagram, Facebook. I think I missed one. YouTube. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, no, I got TikTok too. Yeah, we got the YouTubes.
Disney Plus, Amazon Prime.
Yeah, absolutely. I whatever. Go to our website, talkinbengals.com.
a
So
revamped website. We now have WooCommerce on there. So we have all kind of, you can buy us on Etsy, you can buy direct from the website, you can buy it everywhere. Zach, anything else you want to say?
no, that's it. It's on you.
Woo! It's all to this guy. So something we're going to be talking about in the weeks to come, and it's really killing me. And we have a new shirt out there. It's a shameless plug. We do sell shirts here, but it's the Joe Burrow MVP to be. Take a look at that one. We are feeds. But if this was baseball, is there any doubt that Joe Burrow is the MVP? None. He is absolutely the MVP of the league. The NFL, unfortunately, puts way too much emphasis when you have to have a winning team. Joe Burrow didn't put this team together. The defense was not his responsibility to make, and he's made up for all the holes on this offense. So the fact that he's not even in, we talked about it last week, when he wasn't in the top 12, when a lot of the polls, that's ridiculous. He can't help that his team is terrible on one half side of the ball. So that's going to bring us down after Zach's positive notes and Tim's great plugs. But think about it. Joe Burrow would be an MVP this year.
Casey always bringing us down. Old negative Nancy.
They don't call me the best pessimist in the game for nothing. But bring it back up, like Zach said, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, joyous Kwanzaa, happy Hanukkah, anything else that you celebrate. Just spend time with family. Even if you're a Festivus guy, get a poll, air some grievances, do a little bit of fighting out somewhere, enjoy yourself that way. But from all of us here, Talkin Bengals and Seasoned Enterprises, Merry Christmas, happy holidays, and who day.
Who day?
Who day?